Hi guys, this is George from Woodinville Running Company. Today we're going to be talking about nutrition for Ironman distance events. Since I have the Santa Rosa Ironman coming up and I've got all my stuff laid out, I thought it'd be a good time to put together a video. So when I think about the race, the first thing I want to do is I want to have an overall plan for how I feel I'm going to do. And in this particular event, I believe that I'm going to run or swim a 1:15, planning on a bike of 6:15, and a run of 4:45, although it's going to be pretty hot, so I don't know how that's going to go, and then transition times of about 15 minutes. So with that, the overall targeted time is 12:30. Now, when I have that time, I'm able to then look at my body and how it performs and make an overall nutrition plan. So for me, I burn about 800 calories per hour, 12 and a half hours. That'll mean that I'm going to burn about 10,000 calories for the event. But I know that I can only replace about 300 to 400 per hour. And so this particular plan will put together around 4,000 to 5,000 calories back into my body during the event. Now, I'm not really looking for the aid stations to provide much other than additional fluids. So I want to be pretty much in control of everything that I've got going on throughout the day. And so my fueling plan really looks like this. For breakfast, 400 calories. During the swim, I'm going to take 100 calories. I'll have 100 calories on board. The bike is going to be somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500, depending, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then about 1,000 on the run, and that gets me to 4,000 calories. So that is the overall plan. Now, when I think of an event like this, there are really four major components that I want to be thinking about. I want to be thinking about heart rate, hydration, caffeine, and then nutrition, and that caloric intake on the nutrition side. So first of all, heart rate. I'm going to be racing this year in the 60 to 65 age group. I know I don't look it, but my heart rate on the bike, I'm going to be targeting 130 beats per minute, which for me is very, very much within my range. I normally train about 135 to 140, depending on the distance, and that's over an extended period of time. So a 130 is pretty much what I'm looking for, and what that's going to allow me to do is to take time to think about where I am from a nutrition and hydration standpoint, because really I'm looking at the bike to set me up to have a good run. With the hydration, I'll be looking at 1 bottle per hour. And I pretty much use noon, or we'll take on board Gatorade during the event. And so I'm not looking for any calories coming out of my liquids. That for me has not worked well in the past. And so, when I'm looking at what's in the bottles, it really is just that hydration replenishment. Another key component of this particular event is what I'm doing from a caffeine standpoint. For me, I'm not a coffee drinker, and the caffeine has a very profound impact on my performance. And so I will be taking 25 milligrams right before the swim. I do it all the time, and I can really feel the positive effects of that. On the bike, I'll be taking it at 0, 20, 40, 60, and 80, but I'll be monitoring it. If I'm not feeling anything in my legs, if I'm not feeling particular strain, I feel comfortable with the effort, I'm at that lower heart rate, I will hold off and not continue to increase the dosing on the caffeine side. It has a 5-hour half-life, so it is accumulating in your body, and you need to be thinking about that as well. On the run, I'm thinking in the first and third hour, but I will have additional caffeine with me. My stomach is challenged, I think, I would say, when I get to the run portion. So I want to be very careful about, exactly what I'm doing during the run. So for breakfast, how am I getting the 400 calories? 2 packages of oatmeal and 1 banana. That'll pretty much do it 3 hours before the race. That gel I talked about on the swim, right before the swim, 100 milligrams, but I'm looking for that caffeine that's going into my body. And then on a bike, this is where the plan is most important. I'll be using these Hammer gel flasks, and I have a homemade version of an energy gel that is very similar to the goo format, but in the way that we make it, it has a very slurry-like consistency, and so it's very easy to just take a shot, and I'll have 100 calories instantly just through squeezing the bottle once, and so it's very easy to take gels out of a flask. I'll also be in my bento box. I'll have shot blocks in there, and every hour I'll be taking 3 of these, and I can just reach down, grab one, and chew on it, and it should be fine. And then alternating each hour, either a banana or a Cliff Bar. Cliff Bars are going to have 250 calories in it, bananas 100. And so I'm just going to be alternating that back and forth for the first 4 hours, and then not using them anymore throughout the rest of the bike, and planning on finishing off with just gels and shot blocks. So when I do that, I'm going to be in the 2500 range, but I also have to remember that I will be taking gels in with Cliff Shots, and these have 25 milligrams plus 100 calories. So that'll also be factored in as I'm riding. And really, all of that is setting me up for the run. I'll have an additional flask for the run. This one's going to be hot, so I may be running with a water bottle so that I can alternate. At the aid stations, I can put in water, and I can put in Gatorade, and I can put in ice. And look to be cooling myself from the inside out. It's a technique my brother uses, and so for this event, that might be the right call. But at that point, you really have to go on feel. And so that's pretty much it. That's my plan. I think one of the most important things when you're thinking about a big race like this is to have a plan. Think about how long you're going to be out there. Think about what you're going to be bringing with you. Ride your heart rate. I can't stress that enough. I've done Lake Tahoe, very hilly course, a lot of climbing, rode the heart rate. It was right on with what I had anticipated from a performance standpoint. And really look at that bike as you're fueling for the run. You're not just trying to, do a fantastic bike, because it's really about the entire event, and the run is, the critical component at the end. And when you think about it all, the last thing there is to have fun. This is not what the majority of us do as a profession. You're doing this because you like the challenge, because it'll be a huge accomplishment when you cross the finish line. And I hope my ideas here have helped you a little bit as you think through your race day.